Most people think hitting $20,000 is the moment everything finally clicks financially. But the truth is, that's not where things peak. It's where things start getting dangerous, in a good way or a bad way. Because right after $20,000, the game doesn't just change, it speeds up. And if you don't understand what happens next, you can lose years of progress without even realizing it. Picture this: you check your account one morning, not out of anxiety, not out of habit, but out of curiosity. And for the first time, you're not worried. You've got money sitting there, real money, not just enough to survive, but enough to breathe. You feel it, a little calmer, a little more confident, a little more in control. And then something subtle happens. You start thinking, maybe I can upgrade a few things. Maybe I deserve to enjoy this a little. Maybe I've been too strict. That moment right there, that's where everything changes even more. After $20,000, and most people don't realize, this is where they either build real wealth or quietly destroy it. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something quick. If you've ever worked hard to save money, finally made progress, and then somehow slipped backwards again, comment reset below, because what we're about to break down will explain exactly why that happens. The first shift was survival to stability. The next shift is stability to acceleration. Hitting $20,000 gets you out of survival mode. But what comes after? That's where momentum kicks in. And momentum is powerful, but it's also unforgiving. Because once things start moving faster, your decisions matter more. A small mistake at $2,000 barely registers. A small mistake at $20,000, you feel it. But here's where it gets really interesting. After $20,000, your progress is no longer driven mainly by how hard you work. It starts being driven by how you think, what you prioritize, and what you ignore. Here's where this gets expensive. Most people assume that once they have a financial cushion, they've made it to a safe zone. But in reality, they've entered a decision-heavy zone. Let me explain. Before $20,000, your choices are simple: spend less, earn more, stay afloat. After $20,000, now you're choosing between investing versus holding cash, upgrading lifestyle versus staying lean, taking risks versus playing it safe. And these decisions don't just affect next month, they shape the next 10 to 20 years. You own the hidden trap. After $20,000, this looks normal, but it quietly destroys your finances. You start upgrading your life at the same speed your money grows, not faster, not recklessly, just slightly better each time. A nicer apartment, a better car, more convenience, more subscriptions, more. You've earned this. Individually, completely reasonable. Collectively, they lock your money in place. So instead of your $20,000 turning into $50,000, then $100,000, it stays stuck. Not because you're bad with money, but because your lifestyle is absorbing your progress. But the real problem is deeper. It's not just about spending, it's about identity. Before $20,000, you were someone trying to get ahead. After $20,000, you start seeing yourself as someone who can finally relax. And that shift, while it feels earned, can slow everything down. Because wealth isn't built during the grind, it's built during the discipline after the grind. Let's talk about what actually changes. After $20,000, this is where things get powerful. Because if you play this right, everything accelerates. 1. Your money starts doing visible. Work at lower amounts, growth feels invisible. You invest and nothing really feels different. But after $20,000, you start seeing actual movement, not life changing yet, but noticeable. And that changes your behavior because now you realize this isn't just saving anymore, this is building. That shift is critical because once you believe your money can grow, you start treating it differently. 2. Time becomes more valuable than effort. Before, you relied on effort, more hours, more hustle, more discipline. Now, time becomes your biggest asset because the longer your money stays invested, the less you have to work for every dollar. And this is where people split into two groups: those who protect time and those who trade it for short term upgrades. 3. Opportunities start showing up, but most people miss them. Here's something strange. After you build a financial cushion, you start noticing opportunities that were always there: side businesses, investments, career moves, connections. But here's the catch: opportunities don't scream, they whisper. And if your money is tied up in lifestyle, you can't act on them. If you've ever seen an opportunity and thought, I wish I could, but I can't right now, comment missed it below because that's one of the clearest signs you're stuck right after $20,000. 4. Your risk tolerance changes. And this can help or hurt you. This is one of the biggest shifts. Before $20,000, you avoid risk because you can't afford mistakes. After $20,000, you can take risks. But here's where people go wrong. They either become too conservative and stall growth, or too aggressive and lose momentum. The goal isn't more risk, it's better calculated risk. 5. Your career decisions get smarter. When you don't need your next paycheck immediately, you start thinking differently about work. You negotiate better. Walk away from bad situations. Pursue higher value opportunities, not because you're reckless, but because you're not desperate. And that alone can increase your income more than any side hustle. But here's the turning point most people miss after $20,000. Your biggest advantage is no longer your income, it's your margin. The gap between what you earn and what you need. And if that margin grows, your wealth grows. If it shrinks, everything slows down. Here are the acceleration formula. Almost nobody talks about this if you want things to change even more. After $20,000, you need to focus on 3 things. 1. Keep your lifestyle slightly behind your income. Not dramatically, not painfully, just behind. Because that gap, that's your investment fuel. 2. Automate growth before you feel rich. Don't wait until you feel ready. Set up automatic investing, automatic saving, automatic allocation. Because once money hits your account, it's already at risk of being spent. 3. Protect your first $20,000 like it's untouchable. This is not spending money. This is not just in case money. This is your engine. And once you treat it like that, everything changes. Here's where it gets really interesting. At some point after $20,000, you stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, what is this costing my future? That question alone will separate you from 90% of people financially. Because now, a $30 dinner isn't just $30. A $500 purchase isn't just $500. A $30,000 car isn't just $30,000. It's what that money could have become. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. The quiet advantage. Nobody notices. The person who handles money well after $20,000 doesn't look rich. They don't. Upgrade everything immediately. Show off progress. Chase validation.